Good morning, LBC Radio. My name is Corey Rosen with the Story Podcast. Today I have on my friend and guest, Cody Kilburn. Cody Kilburn is a singer, songwriter, producer, haunting sounds for the soul. Every song is written from the gut and from the heart, inspired by addiction, love, heartache, and a return or rebirth, of the spirit. Cody is a York native born and raised. One can find him performing at places all over Lancaster, York, Columbia, and everywhere in between. Cody is also an incredible tattoo artist. You can find his music on Bandcamp at ckilburn.bandcamp.com or Spotify, also by the moniker c.kilburn, right?
Yes, sir.
And how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Awesome. So, what inspired you to do music? Was it a particular song, particular album? Did you go to a concert and you're like, I want to do that? Or was it just kind of
Lots of pain.
lots of pain?
Lots of pain. And yes, there was my mom sang to me when I was a kid a lot, and I liked it. She always would do like harmonies and stuff, and and I would I don't know, just kind of picked up after that. My dad had a guitar and a bass guitar in the basement, and I took them off the wall and I started jamming out.
Yeah, what was some of the favorite songs that your mother used to sing to you? Remember them off the top of your
Delta
head?
Dawn.
Delta Dawn.
Uh, what is that song? Yeah, or the Dixie Chicks, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
So you grew up more
Yeah,
on like
anything.
a folky kind of country?
Yeah. Yeah, and my dad listened to a lot of metal and stuff like that.
That makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
now. I play your music. Cody is one of the first people who ever approached me with like he wanted me to be a part of his projects, and so it's been really interesting that hearing that all the music that you play.
Yeah, we were supposed to play the King Street Jam. I dig the piano skills, and we got along.
Yeah.
Get along.
So when did you start first writing music?
I don't know. I might have been like, oh yeah, okay, I remember. It was either 7th or 8th grade. I would sing because I wasn't that great at playing the guitar while singing, and my friend would, my friend Devin, at the time, he would play the guitar, and and that was like the first song that we wrote a song, and we wrote it, recorded it on like a Razor flip phone and sent it around, and it like went viral around the school a little bit. It was real nice. The ladies loved it. And I fell in love with it. I've always loved music, so it was really cool to write something that I could call my own.
Do you still play that song today?
No,
No.
I completely forgot about it until now.
That's,
Yeah.
so when did you start taking this seriously as like a this is part I would say of your career, right? Besides tattooing.
Yeah. Well, I made a little EP off Bandcamp, and and the and at this time I was playing like open mics. I was like 16, 17, and my friend Ron Benway, love you if you're listening. Um, he would get me in and told me that he liked the music that I played originals, and other people did too, and he was kind of like the person that was like showing people me, and it felt great. Uh, and it, so I started writing more. I made that little EP off of Bandcamp, or what is it called?
Ghostly?
Garage Band. No,
Oh.
not that one. It was a different one that I made a long time ago, and it was just like on a burner CD. Like I just made burned bunch of CDs. But I also fell in love with recording music then too, And yeah.
So what was it
Yeah.
like trying to find bookings for as a 16-year-old? Did you have to like go to the
I did
manager? Did
not.
you?
I've never I've never asked anybody if I could play at their venue or anything like that. It's always been word of mouth where they ask me to do it. You know, I've never really been the person to go and find them.
That's good. It's a little interesting. So how
Yeah,
would
that's why I want like I'm trying to
right?
find a manager or something so I can actually book gigs that I want to play and, maybe cross the United States a little bit more.
So you've never been on tour.
No. No, I had gone a little bit down the East Coast and played like that, just out of my car.
Just
But
a random open mics you'd find.
no, I get gigs. I didn't one I let my friend email a bunch of places for me, and that was like one time where yeah, he reached out to a bunch of places he knew in New Jersey or something like that, in Philadelphia. And yeah, so I went down there a little bit. So I wouldn't call it a tour. Just call it
Just a road
going out of
trip.
state. Yeah, road trips,
So
playing at wineries and stuff.
yeah, so you grew up through, and that was I guess through high school that you kind of did that, or was that through afterwards? Did you ever go to
Yeah.
college?
Um, well, that was afterwards, this specific thing that we're talking about. But no, I didn't go to college. I went to the other YCP,
What's that?
York County Prison.
Oh, well, that's not fun. Um, so being an artist and more facets than one, you also picked up tattooing.
Yes,
How did that happen?
in jail.
You
I
just start
learned how to draw portraits for commissary. I learned how to, uh, there's tattoo artists in there. We tend to uh, be people that end up in jail sometimes. So I met a few other artists in there and we just drew a lot. I drew every day. Uh, I've always been interested in tattooing, and I I'm pretty sure I did my first tattoo on myself way before that happened. But I knew like after that that that's like what I would probably do if I could. I just didn't know how to get my foot in the door.
So how did you get your foot in the door? Did you start? Do you like apply to different tattoo shops, or you just show your work off, do
No,
marketing a little
how it
bit?
happened is uh I just tattooed a friend. Like it was, don't recommend tattooing out of your house at all. Actually, I, I probably never should have. I picked up a lot of bad habits that that you can't, like, it's hard to break. So the best thing to do is to go get an apprenticeship, have a strong portfolio, and show off your art like that, and pretty much do the shop's dirty work. Uh, as an apprentice, that's how you learn. That's how
So
it's a sacred art handed down from somebody else. And I was not I was not the person that did that. I was tattooing out of a recovery house I was in at the time, and only friends and stuff for like $20 here or there. But I never pretended to know that I know what I was doing. Um,
so it's kind of like a trade
yes,
job.
yes, yes, and something that's handed down, not something that you can just pick up
Or go to college
for
for.
yourself or get your tattoo guns. It's not a gun; it's a machine. But um, yeah, man, I I love tattooing. I love music, and they're both very sacred to me and very they saved my life. Probably.
That's good. Yeah, there's, and we're gonna get into all of that a little bit later.
Mhm.
Back to the music scene. When was your first time when you wrote a song and you were like, "This is it"? this is like one of my best songs?
It's called Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think
What's that one
I
about?
think that was the song. It's about a girl that I was friends with, Allison, if you're listening. Uh yeah, I felt like this girl was a lost girl, and she was looked it was like she was outside looking in, trying to find herself. And um there's a lot, we give up our innocence too much now, when the young give up their innocence way too young. I remember when I was uh in high school, like barely in high school, I was already doing things that adults were doing. And that's kind of how that song was about her. Her father was a pastor.
Mm. Yeah, it's
She grew up on good morals,
right.
things like that. You never know. There's always something going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's a topic very very important to talk about today, where a lot of children get exposed to adult content very early on, and it really messes them up for.
Especially with the internet
Oh,
nowadays.
absolutely.
It's gotten, there's nothing you can really do about it though.
It's you can fight against it, but it's gonna happen regardless. What do you wish that you had been? Do you wish you had been protected? Do you wish you had been taught about it? What do you think is the best remedy for that?
Me personally,
Personally,
there's nothing I could have done. There's nothing that I could have done since uh I was pretty much ruined from the beginning. We don't really have to get into that,
no.
but yeah, trauma and things like that as a child kind of
So then, what?
pushed me into the way of getting out of the self.
So then, what has been your biggest support growing out of that?
Biggest support growing out of that,
Mm-hmm.
my friends, my real friends, people I got sober with, the people that know me, who I actually am, the people that are, my family too. My family helped me out too. That my dad and my mom, they're not together, but they're my biggest supporters, for sure.
They were both out there last night with us. It was
Yes, they
good to
were
see.
different tables.
Right, but still there. So, is that how you found your faith, through that as well, or was that
Through
just
recovery, yes. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I was baptized a Lutheran, and I was confirmed. But and I still kind of, I haven't gone to a Lutheran church in a while since, my stepdad died 2011, probably before that. Uh but yeah, my faith has always been there. It just, I didn't have a relationship with God. But yeah, these people, I think my spirituality is the biggest. It's the reason why I'm alive today, really. And my friends are the ones that kind of back that up, support that.
so? What you do consider yourself a Christian though, right?
Yeah.
And do you ever worship God in any way at all, or what do you
Yes.
consider to be worship?
What I consider to be worship is uh just making a friend out of him, and pray a lot, meditate, uh wait for answers. I don't know, man, it's like a daily thing. It's like when I go throughout my day, I try to look at where he is. And that's and when I'm focused on that, it's all around me. And like helping people, or my neighbors, I see God in the neighbors. I see God in my friends, and I know where I don't see God, and that's where I used to be.
Mm.
And I try, and my garden is a place of worship. My friend Ben helps me out with that too, but that's what I've been learning recently. Is yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. I mean,
I like going to LCBC and listening to the music, or my friends took me over to Providence, and that was like last year or something, and that was beautiful.
like Rhode Island, Providence?
No, it's a band.
Oh, yeah.
It's a band, and they were in Spring Grove, I believe, something like that, out that way. But yeah, I love worship music, and attending them, attending that.
Have you ever tried to write a worship song?
I kind of do it in my own way, all the time. Eulogy is the song about rebirth.
Do you want to talk about that?
Why is my mom calling? Mom, I'm on the radio.
Do you want to talk about Eulogy and see what that's up? See what
Sure.
that's about?
Yeah, man. Eulogy is about the rebirth of spirit.
And what inspired you to write this song? Besides the rebirth of spirit, because there's a story. I've been playing this plenty of times.
I had a dream.
Yeah.
Of me dying, and in the beginning of the song, it says, "I borrowed your knife. I carved your name in a tree." And I think that means sentimental value in friendship, and we need to make our mark on things. I need to make my mark on this tree so it lasts forever. I know it's not going to last forever, but it's going to last longer than it was here of me, and we just want and that's kind of like how I started off, like an attachment to the physical realm of this world is not all that we need. We don't need that sort of attachment. But this is what people do. I mark my skin with tattoos. I mark your skin with tattoos. And we've been doing this since the beginning of time. It's a very spiritual thing. I think we're just trying to get out of this shell that we're in, and what would you call it, like elevate or transcend. Yeah. So I kind of went on after that and talking about drug addiction. I burned some holes in my jeans. They're writing a eulogy in the funerals for me. It's pretty self-explanatory there. But it's like there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to hide. You're in the skin that you're in, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So either you're going to die a physical death because of drug addiction and or doing, harming yourself, or you're going to kill that part of yourself and become anew again and become a different person. That's what happened. That's precisely what happened to me.
So it's very much like the Christian, baptism, where you wash away your old self and become new. Yes.
So a lot of the philosophy that I know and that I hold to me is a lot of Eastern philosophy, but I know that it's based around all of the same principles.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, with that said, we're going to listen to Eulogy, and we'll be right back.
The new one. sister's having a baby and they named him after me. I got all your letters, I burned some holes in my jeans. They're writing a eulogy and the funerals for me. Yeah.
Out of all of your songs, I think that one's one of my favorite to play.
Thank you. I love it too.
So, having done many gigs, what are some of the highlights, some of the worst experiences? What are some things that, like, out of all the places you've been, all the venue owners, etc., what are some things to do for your musicians and then not to do for your musicians that you've experienced?
Do not act like we need exposure. Like that's something that you can pay us with, because it's not. And it's a slap in the face. And I'll probably yell at you.
Yeah, there's that's been like a movement for a while. Is that, oh you'll just get exposure, and then people will give you money through our exposure, and that's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's extortion almost.
Yeah.
If you're gonna want me to play, you're gonna have to pay.
Yeah.
And so, did you ever set a rate for yourself, pay wise?
It's usually like $100 an hour. But I don't play for less than 150. And so, like that sort of thing. I don't really care about money. I mean, when I play with you guys, I need more money.
Right. Yes.
More money, definitely. But because I got to take care of you, but yeah, I don't really have like a rate. It depends on what I'm doing. Like private parties are more, because I have to like get there and get back and wherever it may be, or
they might not have the equipment you need.
Yeah, but I've also played free for also too for just like fundraisers and stuff. What not to do. Last night sucked. I'm not saying that it was a completely bad time, but there's just a lot of unaccommodating things, and swallowing bugs and whatnot is like my worst thing. I hate bugs, and they were crawling in my ears and my nose and my mouth while I was trying to sing. And we didn't get one song. Like that third set, we couldn't get one song to actually get through a whole song without messing anything up.
Yeah, it was a horrible experience. It was later at night by the water, and so there was like 1,000,010 bugs around, and even with my mouth shut, they were still crawling in. I couldn't move my lips at all. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was getting the. Yeah, I was literally shaking my arms everywhere because I hate the feeling of bugs. I hate the feeling of anything crawling on my body, and it just freaked me out. As I was watching playing the piano, bugs were literally just like walking into my fingers as I had to push down on the key. I'm like, I'm gonna kill this bug. It's gonna bug guts on my fingers, and like this is utterly disgusting.
So we had to stop early last night a little bit because it was too much. Other than that, I played at places where the people were questionable. The audience, and I had to raise my voice at a customer for some comments he was making. And that I don't care, man. I don't, like I said, it's not about the money. You treat people how they want to be treated. You love your neighbor no matter what. And it's some people hate themselves.
Yeah, and that's also fair for like the audience, what to do and what not to do. Well, no matter what, who's playing, I always give like a little bit of clapping,
respect,
and just the like baseline respect. And granted, musicians aren't asking you to stop your conversation and completely pay attention to us, because that's not realistic. But to clap and give us a cheer and say thank you, and then
most certainly don't come up to us during a set and start and think it's okay to talk or get ask for the song you want us to play. We are not
we're not DJs.
Yeah, not DJs.
Yeah, has that happened to you a lot, where they're like,
oh yeah. They're like coming up talking to me, man, you good, man? I'm like, dude, I'm playing right now.
I'm performing, yeah. Like I'm still
performing.
Would you say it's okay to talk on breaks whenever you take breaks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Come up to me, talk to me then. But if I'm doing like something, uh, like talking to somebody else, like it's still rude to just
Mm-hmm.
interrupt what I'm doing with somebody else and whatnot. But for the most part, people come up, and even people come up when I'm sitting up there, and I'm cool with it. They ask me to play some Eddie Vedder or something, and I'd be like, okay, I can do that for you.
You're just not while you're performing.
Yeah, like while I'm singing, just start
It just
talking to me. It's like it
it's
was
like
so weird, man. It's like, do you not like have any idea like that I'm singing?
yeah, right. It's like
That's so rude.
the absence of mind you'd have
Yeah,
to come up
yeah,
to somebody and while they're performing, be like, "Hey, you're
yeah,
really good. Can we talk?" And I'm like, "I'm still performing."
yeah. Literally in the middle of singing.
So, how does one deal with any like these audience members that sometimes come up? And have you ever?
I don't acknowledge them at all. Just kind of ignore them like they're not there. They walk away.
Really?
Mhm.
And I sure being in a place like a bar is probably not the most helpful
Oh yeah, dude. At a
scenarios.
bar, it's a different story. That stuff's gonna happen no matter what. So kind of just turn the other cheek, just whatever, and just say respectfully, "Hey man, playing right now. Please leave me alone."
Mm.
Yeah.
What do you think? So what is a normal gig like? How many sets do you do? How many breaks do you have? What's the timeline of a gig?
Usually like 3 hours, 15-minute breaks or so in between every hour. Um, yeah,
Do you
that's
have
about
a
it.
do you have a system like okay, so the
Nope.
first set I'm gonna play these songs,
No.
and then the second, nope, not at all.
Nope. It's
It's all
all
whatever you
it's
want.
all based on what I feel the audience wants to hear, or the kind of energy that I'm getting from them.
So what do you typically play?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Uh,
Folk music.
folk music, classic rock.
And then I make everything else folk music.
Oh really?
Yeah. You haven't noticed? I play
No,
like some Post Malone and stuff sometimes, or I play like some other
I
stuff
I know you turned Michael
like that.
Jackson's Billie Jean into a folky kind of
Yeah,
bluesy song.
I already heard it folky before though, so
Oh
that
yeah.
doesn't really count. Yeah. Forget who who did it. But I don't play it like them, I don't
Right.
believe. But yeah, like Bruce Springsteen, or what's that? Some like old '80s songs and stuff. Just make them into whatever.
Do you ever have to cater to a specific audience like
Yeah.
because I remember last night one of the managers came up and said we gotta play it upbeat.
Well, I don't think that dude really knew what he was talking about. I don't think they liked the old school folk music. That's why I switched it up to the other classic rock stuff. Because that's what people looked like they wanted to hear, and
That's
and
also
people were also clapping
mm,
and loving it. The boss, the dude that owned the place, he just wasn't into it, and he thought it wasn't upbeat enough. It's like, well, you can't really get upbeat without drums. You can only go so far with it, and we went pretty far with it. We did
we
pretty
did
good
yeah we
with keeping it
yes.
upbeat without drums. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, everybody liked it because they were clapping and saying that they liked it, and I don't think that the owner really knew what he was talking about. So
It's sometimes as musicians we kind of have to.
it's not about pleasing the
It's
owner
not.
all the time.
No,
It's
it's
about
not.
pleasing your audience. If you don't like it, it's really not
It's not your
um
place to say you don't like it. It's
yeah.
because what it's gonna do is gonna keep people around. It's gonna
Hmm.
keep people buying more of your stuff.
Yeah, you don't just hire people, you don't just hire musicians that you like. It's not about you. Even though it's your restaurant or your bar, your venue, it's not about you.
It's about the community you're trying to build.
Yeah.
And if someone's playing like Adele, some of the pop music, and people are cheering and singing along,
Yeah,
you're
and then you walk up and you're like, the boss didn't like that. It's like, what are you
it's like,
serious?
yeah, do you want me to completely mess up the vibe here and then have people like walk out
Yeah.
because we're not doing stuff that they like? It's there has been a I've done weddings, DJing weddings a lot, and I've had it countless times where, and granted, DJing is kind of a different space because you kind of really have to impress the venue. Because if you don't impress the venue, you're not performing
Yeah.
there again, ever again.
Yeah, like Nashville and stuff like that and whatnot.
Mhm.
That's like a,
It's a whole different ballgame.
yeah,
But
whole different ballgame.
for the most part, it's like, listen, if the bride and groom are having the best time of their lives and
Mm-hmm.
they're having a party, I'm gonna keep playing this music because at the end of the day, I'm here to serve them, not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
venue.
and that's problems that I run into all the time. I'm an easy listening singer. I sing very softly. Sometimes I can sing very loud and heavy, but the what I do, I read the room.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of the people like this. The majority of the people, or this is background noise,
Mm.
or this is, just slow dancing music. We're eating. I might not even sing, like
Just
those
jam.
things. There's times and place for everything. But there's always that one person that's like,
Super entitled.
oh, you're playing stuff that's way too slow, man. It's like, well, that's kind of the vibe here. If you don't like it, I mean, you're just not vibing
Mm-hmm.
because everybody else is vibing to it. There's always that one person that's like, play something more upbeat. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is a wedding, sir, and I'm supposed to be playing love songs.
Right, yeah. Dude, oh my goodness. I can't. So many people are like, I want to hear some rap music, and it's like, it's dinner. And I'm like,
Yeah, we'll play that at the reception.
yeah,
or whatever.
we'll play that during the party. Yeah,
Yeah.
when people are actually gonna be up and dancing, and I'm not gonna play explicit rap music when there's like all the older people are still here, all the younger people are still here. It's like
Yeah.
during dinner. Do you want to be shouting the rap lyrics as loud as you can during dinner with like these expletives? I was like, listen, man, I respect you, but I am the DJ here.
Yeah.
It's it's so funny how some venues think are like they some of them are really unorganized.
Mm-hmm.
And it's things that you should have for your guests. And we kind of talked about this a little bit last night, not about this particular venue, but just in general, some of the baselines you should have for your guests, whether it be
Oh yeah.
like a 20 $20 tab or like a
Yeah.
free meal or something.
Yeah.
What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
I wholeheartedly agree. I think that drinks should be on the house, and I think that food should be on the house, especially if you're not paying that much. For the musician, this is our, that's
That's
it's
our
important for us to eat and drink.
and even if you're like more like a stingy like a stingy manager, think about it this way: it's gonna bring that guy back for more, and you're gonna really develop a relationship with that musician because they know that they're gonna be taken care of there.
Yeah,
Whereas
and you're gonna make all that tip money too from that musician
that's right.
that you gave like a $20 meal and a couple of beers. Yeah.
So it's much more it's much more valuable to make a relationship with that person because first then you're gonna
Yeah.
get all of their following come to your restaurant and all of their swing and pull, and you're gonna get all of those people who actually are vibing with the music. You're gonna pull in that money, and you're gonna create a better feeling, a better vibe. And if you don't, a musician may not want to perform there again because what's the incentive for them? They're gonna come, yeah, make some
Yeah,
money,
man.
but half that money has to go to their tab or go to food or gas, especially.
Yeah, it's not worth it
at some points it's not worth it.
Yeah.
What's it like not having a car?
It's terrible. I have a car, but I don't have a license right now.
So, what's the lifestyle of moving around?
It's very expensive. You think your gas prices are expensive?
Try
Uber. Try Ubering everywhere you have to go. Try Ubering to Target when you got to go to Target. I can't go to Target. I can't go to Walmart. It's too much money. It's going to cost me almost $100 to get to Target and back. And then plus all of the money that I just spent at Target.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, so I get rides. My father, thank you so much. My family helps me out with that. And, but ultimately, I just don't go anywhere. Luckily, I have family that love and support me and came and go to my gigs with me.
And friends. There's I know countless times that I've had to drive you around, and I personally I don't mind at all. It's a lot. If you don't know this, I love to drive. It's one of my favorite things to do ever. So, and like you said, if you ever need a ride, if I'm not busy, that is, I'll definitely take you wherever you need to go. But yeah, some of your past friends I know will always give you rides, and
Michelle, if you're listening, I love you, even though you've been mean lately.
Yeah. So, why don't you have your license?
Love you, Sarah.
What's the reason behind not having a license? Is it just not time, or
I sacrificed everything for what I have today, man. I couldn't afford car insurance when I was an apprentice. I was living in a room as big as this, and that's including a bathroom with a mattress on the floor and a trash bag full of clothes.
It's like a literal studio apartment.
Well, it was someone else's house.
Oh, gotcha.
I just rented a small room. I died in that room. I was having trouble, man, getting up on my feet, but I did. I got up on my feet, but I didn't have. All right, I lost my train of thought. I didn't have money for car insurance, so I drove my car without insurance. Now I'm kind of slow in the head. I really am. I'm not saying that to make fun or anything. I have issues, and I didn't know that you can't drive your car without insurance, and it's illegal. So I got pulled over, and because my registration was pulled, and so was my license, and I drove without a license too. So they took my license for the insurance thing, and then they took it for driving without a license. I had to do what I had to do. I didn't really have anybody to help me out back then because I was not. I was still trying to regain trust and things like that from the wreckage and the hurricane that I caused.
That's something I'd like to get into a little bit later once we're off the radio.
Get my license back in October.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing. So do you have to say no to bookings just because it's too far, or do you always say yes to bookings?
I always say yes. I'll find a way.
So, what's it like to find a musician and pull them into your project? What's the thought process behind that?
It's hard, man. It's very hard because I like things how I like them. And it's hard to show somebody else how you like it. That's why I like to do, it's hard to find somebody who clicks so well with you. And I think the music scene in Lancaster is so important. And it's so different than even York across the bridge. In York, nobody wants to play. It's a competition. You guys in York, man, I'm sorry, but you guys are
missing out.
Absolutely. Because everybody out here in Lancaster, you don't even know me, man. and these guys are playing the craziest stuff on my songs. And then I'm like, this is exactly how it should sound. This is exactly the way that it is. So like over time, me, you, Henry, Robin, when she plays with me, it's amazing. The saxophone player, Pete, man, we don't have a drummer, but that girl is
Rachel.
Amazing. Rachel is amazing at everything she does. I would love for her to be on my project, but I think she's got too much going on.
She does have a lot going on. Have you ever played with Kieran?
No.
Kieran K?
Oh, the blonde hair kid?
No, as
No.
the
Maybe.
I'll show him to you tonight when we go out to Telus. I think you should be there. But yeah, it is such an interesting scene in Lancaster where literally for example, at Telus 360 open mic, which also runs tonight. I think it starts at 7, goes to like midnight, whatever. So if you want to come out to there.
I'll be playing.
Yeah, we'll both be there, plus so many other countless talented musicians. Literally when we go up there, we can just call out, "Hey, bass player, come up here." Or if Henry's there, we'll call out to Henry. Henry, you want to come up?
Well, the thing is, we're good too, you know.
Yeah.
So if it was like, and even like, and it doesn't matter what skill level you are at, like someone's willing to play with you, man. And even if you've never got up on the mic before, someone's willing to help you out. You come up and you're like, "Hey man, I want to sing. I've never done this before." Someone's gonna help you out.
Help you, yeah.
I've never met a person that's like, "Oh man, no, don't do that. Don't, you know, I'm trying to play my own thing." No, dude, like
there is sometimes that where it's
I
just want to play by myself, and that's totally valid.
I'm saying
too,
like
but
in York, that's like pretty much what it's like. Like nobody wants to play with each other. Everybody's too good for everybody else, and that's why I've never gotten into. I just kind of drifted away from the music scene there.
Yeah, literally last Monday, a hip hop guy, his music is more like boom bappy, and he was like, "Yeah, I wanna do this rap song, but my phone isn't working, it's not connecting to the system, so I don't know what I'm gonna do." And I was like, "Oh, let me listen to the song, let me get a feel for it on like what the piano's doing." And he let me listen to it, and I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." And then we came up, and I was like, "Henry, come over here. We're gonna play literally the 2-4-1 progression, or 1-1-2-4 progression, the same progression you and I came up with that one night, because I was like, it fits perfectly, like kind of a jazzy kind of a thing, and it went really really well. It was a lot of fun, and there's never been a place where every other place where I go that isn't like that kind of crowd, it's no, I'm gonna play by myself, and in certain respects that's okay, especially if like you're performing original music that's never really been done before. That's completely understandable to not want people who have never heard your music before to play. But if you're like doing covers, and someone like, I've played with bands I probably shouldn't have, because piano fits a certain genre. Metal is not one of those genres. It's mostly guitars. But they've had me come up there and play, and it's just a bunch of fun. And it's a teaching experience as well, because not only do you get to have fun, but you also learn what you can do in a band. For example, I realize whenever Henry comes up here, I have to lay off the bass. And that's like one of my favorite things to do, is play the bass and the piano. But with Henry, I've got to learn to lay off it. I haven't learned that lesson very well yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
And for if there's a guitar, I got to play more of the higher end. But with the higher end, you can't just be playing high all the time, because that just sounds annoying at some point.
Yeah, you want to keep things in like a low, like a little
like a low mid.
Yeah.
And then just sprinkle sprints that
the
higher
high
end.
mids.
And so it's been a lot of fun, and if you are a musician who wants to get into music but isn't really can't really sing, or you can't really play, or like you have these wants and desires to play, go out to Telus. You'll find somebody, a group of musicians, literally anybody who you'll talk to. Or
I make things up all the time.
Literally
on
all
the
the
spot.
time.
I made a song up last night. Nobody had any idea. You probably didn't even
No,
have
I
any
didn't.
idea.
I
I
didn't
did.
probably realize it
Yeah.
at all.
I make up songs on the spot all the time, man. If you want to be a part of that, you can. And because just to express yourself, we all need to do that. We all
Right.
need to express ourselves sometimes. Even if you're not a musician, pretend to be for a night. It's so much fun.
Yeah, you're just gonna have a and the thing about it, tell us is like especially that's and there's one at Shamrock that happens every other Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's happening this Wednesday, I do believe, at 7-8 o'clock.
When you play with a band, man, it just feels like a direct connection to God. It feels like that's what worship feels like to me, man. Like doing that and just connecting with everybody and everything in this moment that's just
Beautiful. It's really inspiring. Granted, I'm not the best pianist at all. I just know what the chords are, and I can make something up based off that. So it doesn't take a lot of talent to really make it here. As long as you know what you do and you can do it pretty well, you can do anything. Like even for example, on drums, all I know is like the 2/4 stuff. You know, boom chick stuff, super simple stuff. However, that goes very far around here when there's not that many drummers, when there's not that many granted there's not that many drum sets either, but if you can just bring in a cajon, you're gonna go it's gonna make it
A
so much.
cajon is a box drum.
Yes, a cajon is a box drum. And even then you bring in maracas, you know, you're gonna add something to it and people are gonna enjoy it, and it's just a beautiful scene. So we're kind of rounding out our time on live radio, or whatever this is. So we're gonna listen to another one of your songs. Which one do you want to bring up? Do you want to bring up "The Sound I'm Trying"?
Yeah.
All right. So this song is one of the songs that I learned when we were going to do the King Jam Street, and this was a lot of fun. So
Did you get the longer one? Never mind. No, it should be fine.
Yeah.
It should be fine.
So what is the song about? We called it Long.
It's about so it's mainly about a breakup, but it's also about trying to have romantic relationships while having BPD.
Bipolar disorder?
No.
Okay. So
it's like manic depression.
Oh, manic depression. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, this song is a somber one, to be sure. So with that all said, this is "The Sound of Trying" by Mr. Cody Kilburn.
Produced by me also.
Begging for answers now. A bitch you've thrown in the towel. Well, I'm knocking at your door again. I'm hoping that you let me in this time. I've got nothing left to say. And all of my friends are away. But I know it might sound stupid, but I'm thinking of the two of us tonight. So won't you sign this now? Don't touch my hand. 'Cause it's the one thing alone. Wanna take it he's not a fan. Oh, it's pulling at my skin again. I'm hoping that you let me in tonight. So will you silence now? Don't touch my head. 'Cause it's the one thing alone is to be your man.
So, what was the process behind producing that piece?
A lot. Sleepless nights trying to figure out how to record music and what compression is, what equalization is, and it's not. That's like a demo, so I would call it, but it sounds good enough to play it, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of funny in my head while I was listening to it. I was just thinking of all the piano lines that I put in, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
So what is one of your
Oh, I didn't finish the new version.
oh, you didn't finish the new
No.
version yet?
No. I'm pretty sure I accidentally deleted it too.
That's okay. We can start anew.
Yeah.
So, what is it like to perform that acoustically versus digitally like this? Are there any differences?
Yeah,
Are there?
there's I use a lot of synths and weird noises. I like that. I like a real psychedelic folk feel. I don't know, man. It's different. It's nothing like
Nothing
it's
I've heard
mine,
before. Yeah,
you know?
it's a different
It's-
sound for sure.
yeah. I have a lot of I like Bjork and stuff like that, you know, like weird like stuff like that. But it's not I'm not saying that it sounds like Bjork. I'm saying that like I like using a lot of weird synthesizers and textures and things like that with just like a soft voice over top.
Yeah, it's kind of funny whenever I'm in the studio with you. You keep going through different synths, and I'm like, oh my goodness, just pick one.
Can't just pick one. You gotta modify it. You gotta do play it and then record it and then chop it up and put it backwards and then put some envelopers on it and stuff. Whatever you want to do with it. It's the fun of it. I want to get some analog synths, man. If there's anybody listening here right now, I'll tattoo you for some analog synths. I'm talking Moogs, Korgs, what have you. I'll take a Behringer. But yeah, man. I
Well-
love my synths.
Well, hey, we are running out of our time on the radio, so we're gonna keep going on Facebook Live. If you want to follow us, facebooklive.com / the story Corey Rosen, CoryRosen. What are some upcoming projects for you? Performances.
I do not have anything right now.
Well, we'll be there at Tellus 360 tonight if you want to come out. It's in the
Mhm.
middle of Lancaster. We're going to have a really great time. Like I said, if you're a musician that just wants to hang out or like find something that you can fit in with, Tellus is the spot to go.
And hopefully, soon I'll have a new stuff to listen to on the internet. I'm waiting until I have a couple of songs together and I can put together a new EP, put together a new record, and just have something very nice for you. I've been working so hard for a long time to provide you guys with something very nice, and it just hasn't been good enough yet. And I think but now I'm pulling the trigger on the songs. I know the songs that I want to have on there, and they are coming soon.
And that'll be on Bandcamp at c.kilburn. Will that be Spotify at c.kilburn as well?
Yep.
And you have SoundCloud.
And
Cody
it's also
Kilburn.
on Apple Music. I'm on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, all
Anywhere
of
you
the
can stream
above.
music.
Yeah. C.Kilburn.
All right. Well, with all that said, we're gonna continue on our Facebook, but you're gonna send you guys back to the radio.
Hallelujah.
All right, so one question that I've had in the back of my mind was you tend to really judge yourself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What is, and that can be very unhealthy.
Yeah, I try to keep it under wraps, but it's just the way things go. I'm my own competition. I gotta be better than I was yesterday. I get very upset over not remembering things or stuff like that. It's just how I am.
It's very interesting because I started out a lot like that, where I was questioning every single thing that I did, and if I didn't do it correctly, it was bad, it was awful, and everybody hated it.
Mm-hmm.
But often the times that's not the case. People come up to you and be like, "Yo, that was actually really good," or whatever. Does that calm your fears, or do you push
No.
back?
I brush them off and I say, yeah, whatever, you saying that. Because I know that people do, they say things just to make you feel better or whatever when it's not the truth. Don't lie to me, ever. And I know when you're lying. Because if it's not good enough for me, it's not good enough for you. I'm just kidding.
That's what I was gonna say.
But yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
So how do you deal with that? Do you
I get better.
and try again next time?
Yeah, I do better. I have to. I think that's why I got, I say this humbly, but got so good so quick at tattooing. It's because I was doing it like there was a gun to my head.
Mm.
I don't like the fact that I put something on someone's body for forever and it wasn't perfect. It has to be perfect. It's for them. It's forever.
Right.
It's and my job is to sing to people and to make pretty art. If what I'm singing isn't pretty or what I'm making isn't pretty, then my job is not done. I didn't do a good job.
Mm.
It doesn't matter if it was okay or whatever, but like that my job is to make good art. And if I don't do it right, then yeah, it upsets me.
So what happens whenever some of your sound equipment fails or you forget a battery?
I have to accept it eventually.
And then move on?
Yeah.
So what are some of the prep things that you need for a gig that...
We do not have.
Oh, no. Every single time I go to a gig with you, you're like, can you go to the store and grab a battery real quick?
Yeah, man. It's always something. It's always something that and I try my best to just be like, I get it all together. I have it ready. And then I think I'm ready. And then there's that battery that I thought was in my case that's not there. There's that I swear on everything I love that I put that phone charger, the iPad charger, in my bag. Yeah, there's always something.
Yeah, so what can you do to prevent that? Do you ever make a list?
There's nothing I can do.
There's nothing you can do?
There's nothing I can do. I've tried it. That's what I do. I take everything and I put it in front of my door and I make sure that I have it. I say it a couple times before I leave that I have everything. Do I have everything? And then somehow I forget my wallet.
You should probably post a list on your door and be like,
No.
do I have my guitar? Do I have my
I don't want to
iPod?
live like that.
Yeah, but
don't wanna-
sometimes you, I mean, what's worse? Living like that or showing up to a gig without a battery and then, you know what I mean?
know. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to make a list.
No,
No. I can't do it.
you're just gonna suffer.
Because I'll forget something on the list. It'll be pointless.
Well, that's why you add to the list. You can make your list better.
Yeah, once I go to the gig and then I forget it, I'm like, man, this didn't work anyway.
Well, then you add it to the list, and then you figure
Sure,
out
Corey,
exactly what you need.
I'll make a list.
Do it. See what happens. That's something I got to do. I every single time I go out, I make a list, and I'm like, all right, do I have my phone? Do I have the charger? Do I have the keys? Do I have a sticker for like the story if in case somebody wants a sticker? Do I have my laptop? Do I have whatever I need? Do I have my clothes for my job if I'm going to it afterwards? Every single time I go out, these are things I think about. And yeah, sometimes it sucks having to make a list, but hey, if I'm successful, then you know what I mean? If I don't have to worry, I'm making less work for myself in the future. That's the way I think about it.
Yes, you're right. But I ain't got no time for that.
I'll make a list for you. How about that?
No, I'll make the list, Corey. If you really want me to make the list,
I just
I'll
want
make
to
the
see
list.
how it works for you.
I don't see it working out good.
Well,
Anytime I make a list, I lose the list, or it's
that's why you just nail it to your door.
okay.
And that way, every time you're going out, you're looking at it and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Or that way you can just check your pockets real quick and just be like, okay, my wallet's there. My phone's here, chargers, all that jazz.
Yeah.
I've had to do it. It's improved my life because I was the same thing. Like agendas in high school, it's like who gives a crap, man? I can't be bothered to think about like homework or write that down. I'll just remember it. Or if I need a book this day, I'll just remember it. I never do.
Let's talk about you, Corey.
Let's
I'm
talk
gonna
about
interview
me.
you.
Go for it. I'm down.
Clean your car.
I'm okay.
Boom, mic
Boom,
drop.
roasted. Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair.
We should talk about like God or like music again instead of our organization skills.
Well, they're important as musicians because
Yeah.
that's half the battle is organizing yourself.
Mm-mm.
That
is the battle.
Oh well, yeah, that's fair enough. That is the whole battle. Fair. Well, because cleaning my car.
My
you're
first
right.
grade teacher dumped my desk out on me. First grade. She would make a fool out of me and Dylan. It traumatized us both. We were talking about this when I was in California with him. Yeah, Mrs. H, if you're out there, traumatized us. But yeah, and your little organization technique or whatever you thought that you were doing didn't work. I still lose everything. I'm still unorganized, and I still make more money than you now. But yeah, man. I don't like her. But yeah, it was incredible. She dumped the whole desk out on us.
On you.
First grade, man. I'm like, what?
That's
Like,
ruthless.
how old am I in first grade?
You're like 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's wild.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And, yeah, so I hope there's no teachers that are doing that now. There's a lot of explanations for things like that. My organization comes from the way that my brain works. My brain works a certain way because it has to. And it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not like I'm a bad person because I'm unorganized.
Not at all.
But I was definitely treated like that by this teacher. And so was my friends. And it wasn't like we were being bad, you know. Or dude, it's hard for me. I clean every single day. I clean up every single day. But I cannot for the life of me, when I get something out, put it back where I found it. It's incredible. I've accepted it. The fact that I'm never gonna not lose something. I'm never not gonna be the most organized person. But it's definitely a thing. Who's that? Oh, Shane Spiel. Hey, man. Hey, that's a cigar box guy. He's very good.
Oh yeah,
He's very good. I love
there's
him.
like the cigar box guitar guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he makes cigar box guitars. He has, I believe he had his own podcast. Or am I wrong? Shane, don't hate me if I get that wrong, but he was a part of a band called the Shane Spiel Snake Oil Band. And yeah, I enjoyed watching them a lot.
You ever play a
Thanks
cigar?
for tuning in, man. For real.
You ever play one of those?
Yes, I
cigars?
have. And it's very fun. I want one. I don't have one, but yeah, I like playing with the slide. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, man, I can make some cool blues stuff with that. Yeah.
So,
I like writing songs with other instruments.
yeah, I
So,
was just gonna talk about
so I'll
that.
start with like the banjo. And I'll be like, okay, let's get some different vibes up in here. Or the mandolin, or, even the piano sometimes, or those synths.
Or yeah, whatever magical stems you come up with.
Mm-hmm. It makes me want to do it right now.
So what is your songwriting process look like? It's different for everybody, and yours is probably one of the most unique ones I've ever seen.
I have many of ways. Everything that you heard on Spotify was all improv, and it was recorded improv. I did not make the lyrics up before I recorded them. I'm pretty sure I just started singing.
Really?
That's how I write songs. It's what we did last night. You didn't even know.
Yeah, to be fair, right? And we did that at the Shamrock once, and it was. But how do you remember that afterwards?
I don't. Unless it's recorded or it's videotaped, I don't remember. I wish I remember what we played at the Shamrock because I liked it. It plays through my head sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you make something up, let me know, and I'll just record it on my phone.
Okay. We'll do it tonight.
Let's do it. We're gonna do it tonight.
We're gonna make up
original
music
song at Tell 360 tonight.
It's gonna be recorded tonight.
It's gonna be recorded, and because I don't have my other
it's gonna
job,
be made tonight.
I'll be there at 7:00.
All right. Can we go get something to eat after this?
Oh, for sure. But actually, we're making burgers at my house before I come over. Anyway, we can talk about that after the show. So, what is one thing that you know now that you would wish you had known when you first started, like doing music?
One thing that I know now.
Yeah.
Just hold on, man.
Hold on.
Yeah. Work hard. Work hard. Discipline is the most important thing that ever. That's what I lack the most. I would be done this record by now, and I would have a lot of other things, man. Discipline with your financials. My financials are screwed, but because I just buy things and I don't take in consideration of anything else, and now I'm broke. Discipline in yourself with women or relationships. Discipline in your sexual life. Discipline,
like substances.
when you're a musician, the best things in the world is rock and roll, women, and substance. But I'm not much of a substance guy anymore. I'm not much of a woman guy anymore because I believe those things to be selfish, and I'm trying not to be a selfish person anymore. I slip up every now and then, but I'm pretty much nowadays I'm pretty disciplined, and I decided, I need to develop a relationship with my garden and with my cat before I can learn to take care of another human. I got to take care of myself better, be more disciplined with my music, be more disciplined with my practicing, and things like that, man. Discipline. Can't stress it enough. And my spiritual life is not as disciplined as I want it to be. And that's the most important thing, because without that, I don't have anything. I can't have discipline for my relationships or my love life or my music, if I don't have discipline in my spirituality, in my spiritual practices, am I praying? Am I meditating? Am I trying to have a conscious effort to have a relationship with God?
Mm.
And I fall short. It's good that I fall short. So I know that I need to improve. I know that my relationship with God isn't yet where I want it to be, but it will be. It is where it is right now. And the only way to get closer to somebody is to keep talking to them.
And keep at it.
Yeah.
Discipline is been a large part of my life, trying to figure out. I have ADHD, so like genuinely medicated, really bad ADHD. If I don't have my medicine,
bad ADD.
if I don't have my medicine, good luck trying to put me in like a focused area. Not gonna happen.
That can be one of the reasons why I'm not organized, is because I don't take medicine for my ADD, and I have pretty bad ADD.
No medicine.
I don't like the medicine.
That's fit. And it's a debate for sure. But without my medicine, there's no way in the world that I'd be able to start this podcast, to be able to do the things that I do. No way. Ain't no way. I would just be ridiculously bouncing off the walls. I would have a straight line of thought. There would be no way I'd be able to sit at LinkedIn profiles and look up people to have on the show. There ain't no way. Ain't no way I could make emails, do anything the way I do.
Yes.
It's so monotonous.
It took so long for me to write that little paragraph for you. I was like, I'd start to do it, and then I'd be like, I'd be like, videos of a dog.
Yeah, that's literally it.
And then I completely forget, and then 3 days later, you're like, "Did you do that yet?" And I'm like, "Ah."
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, it's for sure, and I'm not advocating for medication or anything, but think about it.
Yeah.
Because there are so many horror stories of people being medicated like Xanax or Adderall or whatever for their ADD, and that's not a good thing. I won't talk about what I'm medicated with, but it has helped me immensely get through school, get through so many situations where I would not have handled anything correctly without my medication. So talk to your doctor about what's right for you.
Yeah.
But so wrapping up a little bit.
Yeah.
What was the COVID situation like for you?
Oh man.
Now that we're
religious experience.
Now that we're off the radio, I'll give it to you.
I had a religious experience on psychedelics.
Just keep it.
I had a meltdown because of all of the things that I was doing in my life. The psychedelics brought me to something that showed me what I needed to see in myself. That my shadow was just walking around day by day and taking what it wants, consuming what it wants. And I freaked out. Like I said, there was no discipline in my sex life. There was no discipline in my in just my life in general. And I had to start then with a spiritual journey that doesn't involve using psychedelics, but it's my prayer and meditation, being disciplined in my spiritual life. I knew that you can't do that synthetically. You have to do that authentically.
Yeah.
So, because if I don't, I'm dead.
Right.
I'm dead. I was a IV heroin user, and and I had my last chance. And if I go back again, I'm not going to make it.
Right.
But I am here, and that's what happened, man. I was starting to go downhill. My selfishness and my selfishness brings me to that place, and it harms a lot of people. So with harming people, I harm myself. I will die. So that's what happened. I had an ego death of some sort. Wasn't a complete ego death. I'm not like sitting here as Krishnamurti or something. But I'm on my way. I'm on my spiritual path now because of it. And I live a completely different life. I'm a completely different person than what I used to be. I was a monster. Well, I was a monster and a menace to myself mainly than other people, but hypersexual, very selfish, self-centered, I'm very angry, so angry. And it's been the journey the past 2 years, man, to work on my anger and work on the inner child stuff and do shadow work and things like that. It's not easy. It's pulling out the most disgusting parts of yourself, laying them on the table, and you have to stare at it and put your nose in your own poop, but and it's not fun, but it definitely it's life-changing. To grow is painful. You got growing pains, man. You can't just ignore what's destroying people inside of you. You can't just ignore what has destroyed you. You can't ignore the voice of the child in you screaming for the attention that it needs. Give that child the attention that it needs. Find out and listen very closely at what that child wants and go to it. Shadow work is bringing everything out on the table. Shadow work is knowing that you're no different.
And I guess that's the advice you would give to anybody struggling with that currently.
Yeah, man. I think that we all should live like that. I think that we should all be honest with ourselves 100%, and we should reach out to whatever you believe in. I call mine God. And if I can be honest with myself, I'm definitely being honest with God. I'm definitely being honest with you. If I'm not, I'm lying to everyone.
Well, do you have anything more to say on that, or?
I think it's important to know that when I was a kid, I just believed that I was just put here, that I didn't ask for this life. I didn't ask for the things that happened to me. All sorts of trauma and abuse. I didn't ask for, and all of us, if you're listening and you've gone through the same, you can relate. You don't have to be the victim anymore. You don't have to be the victim of yourself, and you will become the victim of yourself if you don't get help. You will start to become the very thing that you despise, and you will destroy everything that you've ever wanted. It will take control of your life. Your trauma will take control of your life. No, it's not your fault, but it is up to you to do what you need to do to get better for the sake of everyone else around you. and also yourself.
And it shouldn't define you either. You shouldn't let your trauma overtly define you.
No, doesn't define me. That's for sure.
Right.
It made me some things, and I grew. But I have the chance to not. I have the opportunity to not grow. Also, I have the opportunity to, completely, So I don't know, man. I've lived that life of not changing, but it's too much for me to go back anymore. It's too much for me to. I don't think I'd be able to. I'm too aware of myself and my surroundings to go back, but you never know.
No, it's one thing like
Stay vigilant. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing like trauma related, you have to realize that you're bigger than your traumas. You can get past it. Granted, you're never gonna forget it, and I'm not saying that.
And you don't have to forget.
You don't have to forget it, but you can't let it define you either, because there's more to it than just what happened to you. There's so much more you can build from that. There's so much positive things.
Yeah,
you
man.
can build from that.
Karma. I believe in. Well, I believe in transformation of the family. Family karma is important, and we as a species we're very young, and we're very primitive still, and we've only been around for how long? But I'm not talking about evolution. I'm talking about the evolution of our consciousness. And it has been here at this beginning stage, this primordial stage that of consciousness that we once held, the id or whatever. I'm not really a scholar, but the generations after, generations are pulling at the strings of karma, and we're going to eventually resolve, hopefully. I believe that God will help us on our way and resolving our family's karmas and putting an end to these generational curses. I put an end to my generational curse, and you can too. You don't have to be the victim. You are the victim, but you don't have to be anymore.
So, well, with all that, that's one way to wrap it up. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about one of the funniest things that happened to during a show, or
nothing ever funny?
Nothing ever funny. That's all serious, all business.
Yeah, I have a really bad sense of humor anyway.
That's fair enough. Well, hey,
thank you guys for having me.
This has been a lot of fun, actually. They can find us at Tell Us 360. We've been saying that throughout the show, but we're gonna be there.
We'll go to the open mic tonight.
We'll go to the open mic tonight. And we're gonna make a new song, on the spot. Speaking about songs, we got one more song to play for you from Mr. Cody Kilburn himself. That is Like You Did. You want to talk about it?
Like You Did is about my time in jail. Again, me trying to change from the person that I was to the person that I am now. This was for my best friend growing up, Samantha.
And with that said, this is Like You Did by Mr. Cody Kilburn.
Like a branch, no hearts like ours, they don't last as long, so baby burn like a branch. trying to find a way out, divided by clouds. So baby, stay like a page. Well, you've been gone so long, you don't look the same anymore. So baby, stay. You're a shooting star, can't make a wish. And the hardest part is it ends like this. So baby, breathe like you did, and I will hold you in my arms like when we were kids. So baby, breathe like you did. I can remember you, the lights went out. You're the puzzle piece that never fit. So baby, breathe like you did.
Or they're just talking microphones.
So that was Mr. Cody Kilburn. Like you did, you can find out all of his stuff on Spotify, c.kilburn. You can find his on SoundCloud, Cody Kilburn. That is CODYKIL. You having troubles with those mic. There you go. That is KILBURN. Kilburn. You can find us tonight at Tell Us 360 at 7 o'clock. And where else can they find you? Anywhere else?
Nope.
Nope, nowhere else. You can follow.
You'll see.
Yeah, you'll see. You can follow him on Facebook as well. I mean, he posts when he's going out to different gigs, and if you want to reach out to him that way, you can do that as well. With all that said, we're gonna end off our time. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Mm-hmm. And you can also send me money.
You can also get tattooed by him as well.
Yeah, I need to make money.
All right, well, hey, if you want a tattoo, go ahead and check him out. With that all said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Memorial Monday. Bye, guys.
Oh yeah, happy Memorial Day.